Good morning and welcome to whatever the hell I post this to. Go get your mother. Go get her. Go get her, boy. Get her. Gotta love kids. That little guy's funny. So you see my face is starting to heal up a little better than it did. I don't look quite so Rudolphish.
Are you videotaping?
Check out my wife on OnlyFans. Look at that. Holy cow. She told me she was signing up for OnlyFans so that she could pay the bills. And then she says, I'm only sending you the link. Like, okay. I guess that's how she pays the bills. I get a show as I'm writing out the bills. But anyway, yeah, that was kind of funny. Maybe. So here we go. Today is going to be a fun day because I'm going to read comments. Just some of these people out here are just incredible. Incredible. All right, so I'm 50 years old, right? I was born July 5th, 1972. William, nobody wants to see your mom's boobs without paying for it. Right? Yeah. Good boy. Anyway, I'm 50 years old, born July 5th, 1972. I grew up in a farming household. My grandparents on both sides farmed. My mother came from a farm. My grandfather obviously came from a farm, and his father came from a farm, so on and so forth. On my father's side, farmed. My great-grandfather came over from Hungary, where they were farmers, and he actually mined for a few years, and then decided to go back into farming at the age of who the hell knows when. Came over here, I think I don't know when. He was 17 years old when he came here and bought this farm in 1925. But anyway, I'm going to read comments. The reason I just stated that is because people think that I just fell off a turnip truck somewhere and I don't know anything about anything. I'm a fool for buying a 30-year-old corn planter. I don't know that a 24-row corn planter needs to be pulled by a tractor that is, like 4,000 horsepower and weighs like 25,000 tons, because if not, it's never going to pull it. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, are these people really that dumb to think that I don't know what I'm doing? I mean, I do things different than most people because I kind of like to put more money in my pocket. And, this year would have been a banner. 2022 would have been a banner year for us. A banner year. But we had drought. And drought really hurts the banner side of it. It actually makes you pucker your ass and wonder how you're going to pay your bills. And if you've never lived through a drought or even a wet season, usually a drought will worry you to death, but a wet season will bankrupt you. That's words to live by, actually. But the grain crop was okay. The hay crop, deplorable. People are saying, and there's a comment in here that reflects on me making hay the last week of December before the new year. And there's a reason for that. The reason is that when you have a cash crop out in the field, like corn, soybeans, you have a limited time to get it off. Uh-oh, what happened there? Oh, my daylight came on. Limited time to get it off because winter. Winter, that white shit that falls from the sky. And I kind of wanted my crops off in a timely fashion, and I got them off in a timely fashion. I was done with beans at Halloween and done with corn at Thanksgiving. Was quite thankful for that. Things held together. The weather held up. We only had rain, normal rainfall at that point. We had more rain in October than we did from May 1st to October. In that month, we had a little over 5 inches or 5.5 inches, and between May 1st and October 1st, we only had 4.37 inches of rain, long stretches without moisture, and I felt that we did okay for that. And it's just tough. It's just been a tough year. So with that being said, I had enough money to buy this corn planter. I was looking to buy a corn planter to not just expand acres, but to get acres in faster. The 12-row corn planter is fine. It's fine. It's 50. It'll be 51 years old next year. It will still be in use. I've decided that I'm not going to cut it down. I'm actually going to do some other upgrades to it. I'm going to be purchasing a John Deere GPS system to run this corn planter with. I'll probably be pulling it with the 8120 or the 7810 or both. I don't know. The 7810 has a GPS unit which worked really, really well for the corn planter and the sprayer. If I buy a GPS unit, a John Deere GPS, I can put it in the 8120 and I can run both the sprayer and this corn planter. The 8120 is about 200 horsepower. I think it's 199 or 199 horsepower, but 200 horsepower. It's probably at the engine on a 230, or 215, 230, but at the drawbar it's 200 horsepower, or just shy of 200 horsepower. So people want to talk about this corn planter, and I did state at yesterday's video that the corn planter was built in 1992, and the largest tractor that was row crop tractor that you would pull this with, unless you were using an articulated, would be the John Deere 4960, and that was 202 horsepower. And it's not entirely a super heavy tractor, but of course you dual it up, weight it down, and at 26,000 pounds, I think 26,000 pounds fully weighted, ballasted, that tractor would pull this corn planter without any problems. The 8120 is about that heavy. I think it's, without all the weights. I got weights on it, but I got more weights I could throw on it, front weights, rear weights. And like Jeff Ramone had said, that it's not the horsepower to pull that thing. He has a Kinsey, and he was talking that he has negative tongue weight on his. I won't have negative tongue weight on this one because of the fertilizer tank. I don't know that fertilizer, without the fertilizer tank, whether it would have negative tongue weight or not. But I doubt that the John Deere would have negative tongue weight, which it would have near negative tongue weight, which is a good thing because there's no tongue. It's a 2-point hitch. But you know what I'm saying. All that weight going down on the row units is where you want it. That's where you want it for no-till. So I'm just going to dive into these comments because they're just, some of them are great. Some of them they just make you shake your head. And some of them are trying to make me out to be some kind of a jackass that's never done anything in his life agricultural-wise. So I'm going to start at what is this? Let's start at the top. I got newest first. So let's just do newest first. It says, a lot of people don't understand horsepower at all. A team of 6 Belgians could pull that planter a full workday. Well, for a team of Belgians, a full workday, you run them for an hour, then you got to rest them, and then I run them for an hour, then rest them. That's the thing with horses. My great-grandfather farmed with horses when he first came here. He says, reminds me of the time that the farm chair engineers were all telling Suzanne she needed at least 95 horsepower to drive that baler designed for 54 horsepower tractors. So about the planter, are you going to buy a convoy bar for the front of the tractor so you can sue people who ram your planter? Well, I don't need to put anything on the front of the tractor. People here in New Jersey are really dumb, but I say that, and they're just, actually, I think it's people around the entire world. The more electronics and stuff that they put in these cars with computer screens, and now there's a computer program that you can put into your car, so that computer screen then turns into a Netflix movie screen, and people are watching TV as they go down the road. This guy, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's from Norway. Well, thank you. Why would you split maturity? This is a really good question. It says, why would you split maturities on half the planter? That would be 2 different maturities in the same field. Would that not make it a pain in the ass to dry the corn? I live in West Tennessee, and we let the weather dry the crop. We don't deal with high moisture corn unless people have 4,000 to 5,000 acres of corn and 2,000 to 3,000 acres of soybeans or cotton. All right, so there she is, OnlyFans getting ready to do her job. Anyway, the reason I would split those varieties is to extend the pollination. All right, so if I have an 85-day and an 87-day, that extends it a couple of days, or approximately a couple of days, something like that. If you get into a dry spell or a dry week, and the pollination window is only 3 to 4 days with the new varieties, they're very short pollination windows. So you split them. And it's a common practice across this nation and probably the world. It extends that pollination. So I was actually thinking 6, 6, 6, and 6 so that I have full coverage on either way to extend that pollination. It's just for pollination. 2 to 3 days of relative maturity makes next to zero difference. Or even 5 days. I wouldn't go 5 days. 3 to 4 days difference in those varieties could make a big difference in pollination, even if it stretches it 1 day. I mean, you could have 3 weeks of really dry weather, and then at the last day of your pollination window for the first variety, you don't have any moisture, and then you get a shower that goes through and creates enough moisture that the silk is sticky enough for the pollen to stick to it. It would just extend that. That is the reason why. As for drying the corn, the reason I dried the corn was because weather. I'm in New Jersey. I'm not in Tennessee. My harvest window is a lot less than what you would have in Tennessee, probably by 2 to 3 weeks. And 2 to 3 weeks in a combine is a big deal. It is. It really is a big deal, especially when you're running a 31-year-old machine, 32-year-old machine, and it's like, is this thing going to hold together, or am I going to be able to do X, Y, Z? I mean, we manage. We do okay. So, always cover bald head to Farm Journal book. I have a bald head. Look at that shininess. Anyway, Wes, I'm very interested in that 4-row 7,000. I do dove fields every year, and that would be perfect. Okay. When I'm done with the videos, I'm going to take personal messages. You can send them to my email, and you will bid on what you feel that corn planter is worth. And obviously, the highest bidder is going to get it. So it'll be anonymous, and that'll be it. That's how I'm going to actually sell that planter. Wayne Jones, Happy New Year. Thank you. Are you going to set up your other planter for soybeans and just leave it set for soybeans? No, I am not. I'm not. I can't do that here with soybeans. If I do wide rows here, 15 inches are too wide. 7.5 inches are perfect because the deer are lazy, and deer don't like working for their food. They want to get in, smash and dash, and that's it. So, and I am probably more than likely going to be running 2 corn planters to get this job done quickly. I will have a runner with seed and liquid, and I will have somebody planting with both planters. I will plant with a big planter because I'm a big boy and it's my new baby, as they say. Very enjoyable video. Thank you, Jan. Depending on conditions, have seen 12 rows behind 250 horsepower. 4-wheel drive's almost too much. Hopefully you won't have trouble. I don't know in what situation a 12-row corn planter would pull that hard that these tractors can't pull it. Honest to Pete, I just don't, unless you guys are, I just don't see that. Corn planters pull very easily. Mike Nicholson, money is the root of all evil, but it's a necessary evil because without it, you starve. Unless you're, self-sufficient and grow your own food. About 80 inches in buffalo, and you are bailing. That's correct. Awesome video, Wes. Appreciate the hard work, but I'm like you. Buy something older, put some money into it, and the equipment works as good as new. One smart man. Appreciate you sharing. That is true. So the reason I don't go out and buy brand new, super brand new equipment, I don't have to. It's not, I have enough skill and time to do the work to these planters and equipment to make them like new. The frames don't wear out. I mean, you can break them, and obviously this 24 row has had some breakage on it, but whoever welded it did a really good job. So I'm okay with that. I will probably do some sprucing up of those pivots that were broken way back when, and it's not a new brake. It's old. So anyway, it looks to me, because it's a flexible planter, it looks to me like they got into a valley situation and extended it because it actually bent. It had actually bent the coupler before it broke it free. So whoever was running that thing got into a situation that was not good. I don't have any situations like that, so I'm pretty good there. Happy New Year's. The 5020 would probably pull it with, if it was weighted correctly with duals and you know, a lot of weight. And I'm not going to do that. I've got more comfortable, better planters, or better tractors to pull the planter with. I have been using 7,000 wide row that had been narrowed up. It belongs to a friend of mine. When he went to trade it in, they wouldn't give him anything for it, so he kept it for planting sweet corn. Then they told him that it couldn't be narrowed. Well, it was made with welders and torches. It could be changed with them too. Now, a 7,000 4-row corn planter can easily be narrowed up to 30-inch rows. I can tell you that Timmy Cornpicker, he's a neighbor of mine, he narrowed his 4-row up. He has a 4-row 7200, and his is a finger pickup, not a vacuum, but he narrowed it up to narrow rows, and it worked out just fine for him. Looks like time to put up another barn. No, I'm not going to put up another barn. I'm going to buy one. That big planter will make you money, as you'll be able to plant timely and not wear yourself out doing it. Money well spent. See, I'm actually speeding up without going any faster. That's what I told my wife when I bought it. That's what I told everybody that was questioning why I bought this huge corn planter. I said, well, I was looking for 16 or even, 24. I wouldn't go any bigger than 24, even though I could go to a bigger planter. And I will get into that in a little bit, because there's a lot of people that say you're not going to be able to turn that corn planter around in your fields. They're too small. Well, I drive a Hardy Navigator 1100 with 90-foot booms on it. So if I can do that, why can't I turn around a 60-foot corn planter? I don't understand why people think that it's too big and impossible to maneuver in my fields. But anyway, farming for fun. Hey Wes, 2023 will be the first year for me farming. Well, congratulations on the rest of your life. I'll be the first person in my family to farm since at least World War II. I'm excited. I've picked up some cheap equipment, still on the hunt for a tractor, but I have a 4755 and a 4020 available to borrow when I need them. Well, farming for fun, I'm going to give you a word of advice. If you have a job, don't quit your job. If this farming thing is fun for you and it makes you a few extra dollars that you can maybe pay your mortgage with on your house or insurance, or even take a nice vacation at the end of the year, enjoy what you're doing. Don't quit your day job to do it, because there is always a breakover. When you get to a certain size, then you have to get much larger before you start to make money again, because your equipment inputs. I've been fortunate enough to be able to keep the older equipment that I've got and not have to spend all that money. The next big real big purchase is going to be another combine and a grain bin. And of course, there you go. Probably $250,000 or more just to do those two things. Wish new planter would be stored inside. I'm also interested in how the planter was mounted on the transport trailer and the unloading process at the farm video. Missed previous video, did not receive the Google notice. It's there. Yep, my last one. There you go. Heck, that 5020 you got would pull that 24-row planter in the field. Definitely got a good deal. Thank you. I know it would. It's the transportation part of that corn planter that scares me a little. It's long. It's 45 feet long when it's in its transport position. And there's half of the weight is on the planter wheels. The other half is on the tractor. So when you go around a corner like a sharp corner and you hit the brakes, it will slide. It will push because it's 20,000 pounds empty. Put 48 bags or however many bags of seed into it. No, 48 times 2. 96 bags of seed in there. And you got yourself some weight. I wish John Deere never have put AC and heat under the seat. Those seats are heavy. They are heavy. Yeah, I agree. I feel the same. Hey, enough. I feel the same. Quicker this crap year comes to an end, the better. Between the drought, high input costs, and every other knockoff effect, let's hope 2023 is better. Amen to you, brother. Samuel Bonacorsi. Thank you. That's how I feel. New Jersey 2A laws are even more restrictive than New York. Wow, even your vehicle is off limits. My vehicle? What are you talking about? New Jersey's firearms laws have always been retarded. At 2025-ish Lamba, you don't like horse, beef, but dairy, but you're going to do Sheepa. I don't know about Sheepa. LOL, have you tried crawdads and rocks to grow on? Yeah, I hear you. Anyway, popcorn. I'm not going to continue. Gene, I'm not going to read all that. God. Big enough tractor, the 8120 or 8530 would laugh at it. I know, right? I mean, I really honestly love to plant with the 7530. 7810, a little bit bumpy. 7530 has suspension. I know, spoiled farmer, has suspension, but yeah. How much do I want for the 7000 the way it sits? Make me an offer. You know, I kind of want to do the videos personally. I want to buy the bearings that it needs for the wheels and the hubs and just go ahead and put it together. And then sell it as a good unit, a planting unit. I got meters, I got closing wheels, I got meters, I got closing wheel arms, lots of closing wheel arms, I got closing wheels, I got all sorts of stuff. But yeah. Farmers were using 4850s to pull 16-row 7200 planters. Yeah, they were using 4850s to pull the 24 rows. You just dual them up and weight them down. Life is good. A 7810 is not going to pull that planter. People are retarded. You're going to need at least 200 horsepower plus a lot more weight than a 7810. You'll find out real quick. Just how you find out pulling that home with a pickup would have been complete disaster. I'm going to tell you, assholes, something. And I'm sorry that I have to get vulgar about this. I could have pulled that corn planter with that 550. The reason I shied away from it was because of the length. The length of it is 45 feet long, folded up. Now, if my wife and son were not in the truck with me, I would have pulled that thing home. Yeah, just so you know, I would have pulled that thing home. I pulled a Great Plains 2400 vertical tillage machine home from Maryland, which was heavier and wider, or as wide as it was 13.5 feet. Narrowed up, that thing was 14 feet wide with the boxes off. It was the length. The truck would have pulled it. The truck would have stopped it. The problem is that all that weight and the length of that thing way out on the end, whereas the Great Plains, the weight was distributed pretty good in the middle. I'd have pulled it home. So the 7810 will pull that planter. I don't know what planet you people are from that you think that a 190 horsepower tractor isn't going to pull that planter. If you're into soil health, why not build a twin row 60-inch and interseed cover crop between the rows? Because a twin row 60, it wouldn't be 60 inches. It's not a bad idea, really. But I don't need to do too much for that. I just don't want to do 60-inch rows. It looks stupid. I saw John Stevens do it. It is a reduced yield. And we're not into reducing the yield so that I can spend more money on cover crops. I'd rather do the twin row early crop and then get it off in September and seed in tillage radish, vetch, and all the other things that I will be seeding in along with that, 7 or 8 or 12 different species of cover crops for the next corn crop. That's what I will be doing. No way 7810 will pull it. 8300, 8400 is about maxed out on a 24 row. So Northeast Nebraska farming, in 1992 we had 8400 John Deeres. And they built that thing before that. So in the 1980s when they started building the 7200 24 row, what was the big tractor then? A 4840, 4850? And John Deere didn't have some magic screw on the side of the engine that said, uh-oh, you're going to plant a 24-row corn planter. Let's turn the screw. That was all voluntarily done by the farmers that ran those tractors because they felt that horsepower was going to pull this thing better. It's not about the horsepower to pull this planter. It's about the weight. Jeff Ramone had said it. I said it in last video. It just weight these tractors down, and that's the stability. I would put duals on a tractor for stability. I don't have any major hills that I'm going to be on with that planter. So, God, you people just drive me nuts. Northeast Nebraska farming. You are in the Northeast. You got some pretty wicked hills over there. You're at the, yeah, I know where you're at over there. You're over, what the hell is the name of that town? Where they build the Westendorf loaders. You go into Nebraska there. It's pretty stout hills. Yeah, it would drag you down with anything under 250 horsepower. I could see going up those hills, and but I don't have that, so I don't know what you're getting at there with that. But anyway, I've had my fill of popcorn farmers who aren't selling me their popcorn. Well, Urban Adventures, I could sell you popcorn that won't pop, or I could delay my popcorn sales to the point where the moisture is correct, and then it'll pop for you. But if you want, I'll just go scoop up that too wet popcorn. It's getting ready now. It's just about ready now. But if you've had your fill of it, go down and get some Orville Redenbacher. He's got more money than I do and can dry it down to the moisture that is needed quicker. Are you going to go with a seed tender instead of bags in the spring? I would love to, but no. It is a heck of a job. It will be, but I'll be able to plant 240 acres at a shot, so what's it matter? Did that hurt? Why don't you put that bag in there so I can annoy the other people that watch this channel? How's that 8120 working out for you? How many hours are on it now? There's just close to 10,000, if not over 10,000 hours on that tractor now. There's quite a few. I bought it with 4,000, a little over 4,000 hours on it. Would the hay job work better if you brought back a load of compost every load hay delivered with that as fertilizer? I do. He does that a lot. Thanks, Wayne. Can you look into ATV farming? Look into ATV farming. Tilling would be on the thing you can save fuel on. Tilling would be on. I'm going to run my VT as a roll crimper in the spring to plant corn and beans through the cover crop. I'm either going to pull a roller crimper or I'm going to pull my VT. I think the VT will work better for my operation than just a regular roll crimper, and I will be chemically killing that crop anyway. I'll be chemically killing that crop anyway, so I don't have the cover crops turn into weeds. Wes, I respect you, but Kyle Shepard, come on. There's no way a 4450, 7810, 4960, or 7530 will pull that planter. A 16 row is a good match on a 4960. You need 250 horsepower to pull that 24 row. That planter was made for a row crop articulated four-wheel drive in 1992. That was a good planter for the 8530. If you fill that full of seed and fertilizer, you are talking it will lift the front end of that 4450, 7810, 7530, etc. Kyle Shepard, I'm sorry, but you are wrong. You are wrong. You are, I'm going to say it one more time, wrong. Oh my God. I can only rub my head and just wonder so long as to why people do this. Yes, an articulated tractor would pull that thing with ease. You do realize that the articulated tractors, there's no weight on the ass end of those things. You would have to weight the ass end of an articulated tractor. Weight it like a lot. Or you will have the same problem with an articulated tractor as you do with an unweighted row crop tractor. I'm going to hook that corn planter to the 7530 just so you idiots can understand that that tractor, those tractors will pull that planter wherever I want it to go. You just got to add weight, W-E-I-G-H-T, weight. But whatever. Swear to God. Geez, time flies. I remember when Tim was still a young guy. After all these years, I've watched you find new love, have a baby, and now that baby has grown so much. Crazy how fast time goes by. Yes, it does. And don't let your life slip through your fingers. I have scores and scores of SD cards, thumb drives, of stuff, of trips that I've taken with my kids. I have hard drives in the bottom of that cabinet right to my left of my kids when we would go to Florida, when we would go wherever we went, Nebraska, Florida, wherever we went. And trips that I took by myself because my kids, when they got older, they were like, fuck you, Dad, I'm not going. So, yeah. Yes, it flies by very fast. You know, last week my dad was 50 years old. This week I'm 50 and he's 74. You know, my mom, same thing.
I got it.
Yeah, but we're not putting that in there. Okay. Get the valve that the 1760 12-row planter uses. You drop it on the ground, throw the valve, and the tires stay up. Then you fold it. Simple process. I have that. 1760 and the 7200 are basically the same corn planter. They just have updated row units. That's all. There's some other updates, but obviously that corn planter is a later model. The 1991 and above and newer are basically a 1760 without the 1760 row units. So it's planting, not plowing. Most giant tractors are wasting fuel. The old steam tractors, most were stronger than the diesels. Absolutely, I agree with that 100%. It's at 44:30, sitting around 8 minutes into the video. Looked like she's sitting on her knees. Yeah, that's my grandmother's tractor, and I'm going to have that thing redone. I'm going to redo it. I've got plans for that, believe it or not. One happy farmer. Here's Jeff Ramone right here, and he is going to explain to you what it's like to pull a 24-row planter with New Holland equipment. He runs New Hollands, and I think he was running a T8. T7 on that planter before the T8, but here we go. Now, don't quote me because I'm not 100% sure on New Holland tractors, but I'm pretty sure that's what he's doing. He has a T, I think he has a, yeah, he's got articulated tractors, but I've never seen him plant with those. It's not power that's needed, it's weight that's needed to pull it. There's a lot of weight way back behind the tractor. With my Kinsey planter, I have negative drawbar weight when it's in ground planting. You can have a dog that wags the tail, or you can have a tail that wags the dog. Now, we don't want the tail that wags the dog. We want the dog that wags the tail. So, he's 100% right. When you've got 20,000 pounds behind you without seed in it, say 15 tons, 30,000 pounds behind you planting, that's one thing. It will throw the tractor if you don't have enough weight on the tractor. I have weight. I have lots and lots of weight. And if I don't have weight, I know where I can go buy windshield washer fluid concentrate and fill my tires with weight. No problem. Just go down, buy 4 or 6 drums of this shit and put it in my tires. Then I've got more weight. And I know exactly how to do that. So, yeah, there you go, ladies and gentle germs. Okay, Ray McCarter, I'd love a corn planter like that 4-row. Well, you'll have the ability to purchase it. We're all going to Lamb. I hope to see you there, following from you from the start. Well, Paul Curran, PA, I'll be there. I don't know if I'll be wearing this hat or whether I'll be wearing something different. Maybe I'll just wear a decalb hat. Decalb. All right, that 4 rows should sell like hotcakes. Lots of deer. Hunters love those food plots. Yes, of course. As long as you get YouTube qualified farmers trying to mock your intelligence, it will help you, and the algorithm, more comments, the better. I agree. So, I agree. Oh, wait. Here we go. We got somebody else going on here. In my opinion, if you're on YouTube, you should be able to take a little negative feedback. If you don't want it, don't show the world what you're doing. I would say something. The feedback is on point, and the content creator can't take constructive criticism. Dude, I've probably been on this planet longer than you. If I haven't been on this planet longer than you, I've got... Anyways, it doesn't even matter. I'm not going to get on it. Constructive criticism I like. But downright stupid comments, I don't like. So, but other times, the creator should just not even read the comments if they are going to be a snowflake and comment back to stupid stuff that's said to them. Well, Seth, I don't think you've been around very long. I've been doing this for 14 years. And you want to know something? I just love to spar with morons. And you're right there. I do. I love to spar with morons. It is so much fun because in the end, I'm unsubscribing. Fuck you. And that's the end of it. It's like, yay! I'm a winner today. I'm a winner every day because it's my channel and I post and you don't. So there you go. And there's Alpha Male Construction Videos. Michael Fazio in the Philippines, baby. I got to reply to him. You forgot baby. There you go. I like Michael. Michael's a good guy. You should watch him. He's funny. Sometimes, and he's like me too. He hates nonsense. He hates people that come on. He just blocks them. I don't block them. I spar with them and get them all upset, and then they get all pissy and then unsubscribe and say that I'm a moron. And then, you know, when you see them at a farm show, they're like, "Yeah, I watch you. I don't agree with everything you say, but I watch your channel. It's pretty good. But you know, I don't agree with everything you do." Don't agree with anything that I do because it's not you. Just agree with what you do. It'll make you feel better. Thanks for all the videos in 2022. I've enjoyed watching your family grow and you all work together. Can't wait for 2023. Used to work together. My younger children, my former younger children, Haley and Joe, they are no longer on speaking terms with me because I am me and they don't like me. And that's okay. There's other things that I can't talk about that are factors in that too. And that's okay by me because I have the little guy. The little guy is the most important thing in my life right now, and getting him raised up properly is very important to me, and enjoying life with my wife and my son. And if my other children don't like it, well, they can go. I did my part. My part as a father was to raise them to maturity. And once they matured and they got out on their own and just started doing their thing, my obligation to them is over other than, "Hey, Dad, can you help me?" But when, "Hey, Dad, can you help me?" turned into, "Hey, I'm going to go spend all my money, get into trouble financially, and then ask Dad for money." Oh, and then when Dad wants me to like sign a piece of paper that says that I owe him this money because, you know, that's how the world works when you borrow. You know, I gifted a lot. But when I made a loan, then they get their mother involved, and she signs the paperwork so that they owe her the money, and I'm like, up yours, because I've been divorced from this woman for 18 years. Do you have any comments on 2000 New Holland Big Square baler? Yes, don't buy one. I bought one. I ran it for 7 years. It is ancient. You can't get parts. You can buy one for about scrap price, and that's about all they're worth. If you're baling straw, there's a clutch on the side. Double up the clutch plates. And it's really stupid because there's bendable tabs on that thing. What a nightmare. You can weld long nuts to it and add a big coil spring to it if you want. But I just doubled up the clutch plates so that it was really tight. I would weld it solid if I could without breaking something else. But yeah, no, don't buy that. I mean, it's okay. You can buy one if you're doing small amounts of acres, maybe a couple hundred acres. And doing straw, but hay has to be bone-ass dry, and you know, they do their thing. It's got that adjustable slice making, oh my God, pre-charge chamber, which isn't a pre-charge chamber. And you have to keep it full. Always you run it with an IVT or a power shift tractor will work much better with that. So when you get into a thin windrow, you can fill it up faster because it constantly strokes. It has no you know, pre-charge chamber. It just strokes constantly. So you'll make banana bales. U-shaped bales are terrible. Did you need a COVID shot to get abroad? No. I think it now up to the countries to decide. Yeah, England doesn't require that. Everyone needs a break, Wes. That's cool you're coming to land. Hopefully might see you. Hey, you know, Ian Barnes, I think I'll be in the Manitou booth with Kurt and George. You know, for a couple of hours. We'll be meeting and greeting on both days, and you can stop by there. We'll announce that as we go. I got to talk to Kurt again anyway, find out what's going on. I haven't talked to George. I got to get a hold of him as well. Hoob's Groove, is there no market for goat farmers and poultry farms? I don't care about them. You can get almost as much money for that 4-row as you paid for the 24-row. Hunters pay big money for them. You can get 8 to 10 grand for it. Young farmers are better off with a 7,000 6-row. Probably, but I don't have a 7,000 6-row. I've got a 7,000 4-row. I passed up a 7,000 conservation 4-row last summer for $1,500. It was probably completely roached out. Wow, if you think John Deere 7,000 4-row for $8,000 bad, 10-foot disc will bring more money than 28-foot. I've seen 10-foot disc go for 5-6 grand. All about the deer food plots. Yes, yeah, I've seen that too. It's kind of crazy. Uh-oh. Take a video about this. The world is now ruled by one community of people. The world's satanic elite. You can also call them the Committee to Meet the Antichrist and Prevent the Second Coming of Jesus. Trump called them the Deep State. At the moment, it consists of about 10,000 people. The main ones are the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, Windsors, Baruchs, and their ancestors, descendants, and other people enter there have the mark of Lucifer, which, if they bring the Antichrist and do not allow the second coming, they will receive eternal life after the X hour and the rest of humanity for all the time that they have lived. They won't get anything, so all people should know about the existence of a world government. Oh boy, I had to read that because, you know, I just had to read it. Not put your corn planter inside, Wes? He does not have the room. Oh, I can put it in. I do have room for it. Yes, I do. I have to move a couple of things, but yeah, I got room for it. Tractor size mainly comes in for the new tech loaded planters. The requirements for hydraulics on them is getting to be out of control, and anymore you need anything that plugs in to match the tractor color, to take out the guesswork of the software. Look, I have 4 outlets, 2 in and out for the vacuum, and the other one is basically a power beyond, and then everything is run off of the switchboard on the, what do you call it? Nice hat. Thank you. It is a, not this one, the other one. It is a Indiana Jones hat, actually. It is a fedora. For the most part, even planters that size don't pull hard to need big, high horsepower tractors. Mostly nowadays, large tractors are used because of the higher hydraulic capacity needed and higher number of remote outlets. And we get this gun. No, they don't pull all that hard. They don't. The main reason to put an 8000 series tractor on it is for stability. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. They can jerk a tractor around pretty good in uneven ground. I guess he'll find that out if he puts one on the 6 or 7000 series tractors. So, yeah, I know all about it, guys. That's why I said about weight. And I do want to put it on the 8120. I really do. I want to put it on the 8120. I have a couple sets of weights. That came off the 7810. I can put those on there. And, you know, so I've got another, I don't know, a couple thousand pounds for the ass end. And if it doesn't feel like it's enough weight, I'll just go get some windshield washer fluid, and I'll fill the tires with windshield washer fluid. Okay. Gift that 4-row to Tim and get him started farming on his own. Tim does not want to farm on his own. Buy him one yourself, yeah, right? It would be a good start for Tim. Again, and I've said this over and over and over and over and over again, people don't hear me. Tim does not want the risk or the responsibility of this job. He wants to show up, work a day, and get paid for it. That's what my son wants. He does not want to take over the farm. He does not want the farm. He just wants to work on the farm. That's it. That's all there is to it. And he gets paid. He gets paid very well. He's a good boy. Tim's a good man. He needs a wife, though. He needs a girlfriend. He needs something because I think he's missing something there. But because of things that his mother did to him when he was young and the relationship that we had, he does not feel the need to do that. How big of a barn would you need to store all that equipment in? I'm buying a place, so it doesn't matter what size barn. I have one. 72 by 100 will fit that thing real nice. I would see if Timmy Cornpicker would be interested in it. He's got one. We pull our 7,000 John Deere 24 row with a 1982 John Deere 8450. Well, Doug, there you go. It'll pull that just fine. That's exactly what it's there for. Probably pulling on hills. I don't have that many hills. My toboggan cap, yeah. When you're in Europe, check out the plight of the Dutch farmers being forced out of business. More news there than what gets pushed here. Uh-oh, my father's calling. Let me answer that. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, this is going to be really long. Oh, thanks, Wes. Hope 2023 is a better year. Wishing the best for you, Teresa, William, and Tim. Y'all take care and stay warm. Thanks, Norman. Okay, I almost bought a 4-row 7,000 conservation planter. Yeah. Wasn't that long ago. You could pick them up for $500, $750. Now everyone thinks they need a food plot planter, so they bring home a little more. $5,000, $6,000 is a little pricey. But if you want to own OLS planter, I guess you need to pay more. You know, this Seth character, you're about to get your ass banned. I'm getting tired of you. Let's say we hide Seth from the channel. I think that we should hide Seth from the channel. It's not that he was bothering me. He's just a jealous asshole. Okay? So, Seth, I'm sorry if you're watching this. You'll be able to comment, and it'll look like people can read your shit, but they can't. There you go. So Seth has been hidden from the channel because he's tired of him. He has jumped on and commented just pure negativity, and I'm just tired of it. Okay, the idiots that think you don't know what you are doing. This is Kevin Chafin. Are the same ones who think you cannot farm unless you spend $10 million a year, as Millennial does. I don't know what Zach spends, so we're not going to drag him into this. He does have some nice equipment, though. These are also the same people whose only farming experience is YouTube. Yeah, I could agree with that. You, Laura, and occasionally Grumpy are the only ones that I can tolerate. The rest only talk about their $1 million machines. Thank you, Wes. Don't forget about the largest farmers who have 100,000 acres and every new piece of equipment on the farm simulator. They know that the best and everything about farming. Agreed. There's a lot of farm sim farmers out here that just have no idea what it actually takes to start and finish a season, a year, a growing season, you know. Just can't understand why one dislikes another's way of explaining his farming. My dad was surrounded by big farmers. They were proud they succeeded. Knowing the risk-taking, they have reasons for it, as I would. Yeah, Jack Willie, I agree. You know, there's guys around me that I look at and I'm like, wow, he made a lot of really good decisions, because that's what life really is. It's a series of decisions. We make good decisions, we make bad decisions. I made some really good decisions in my life, really good decisions, and I've done really well. And I've made some bad decisions in my life, which I'm still paying for, and I will probably pay for the rest of my life, even when I am long done from this world. There will be people out there that will resent and hate my guts and they are the people that I used to care for on a daily basis when they were little. And that's okay, because you know what? Life has to go on, and you just can't put up with crap. But I am happy to see other farmers succeed and buy new equipment. It's nice. It's nice to see that, you know. And when you talk to them, they're like, "Oh yeah, I did this, this, and this," and they're very open with their information. I'm open with my information if you come and speak to me. Like, if you want to know what the secret sauce is, come and speak to me. I'll tell you everything that I'm doing. If you agree with it, you'll use it. If you don't, you'll be like, what the fuck? That guy's just wasting money. I'm not wasting money because it works, and it's really a wonderful product that is readily available anywhere. Yeah. And, you know, it's silly. It's just silly the way people are. So anyway, whatever. I can't make people, how can I say this? Just be happy that you're doing well if you're doing well. If you're not doing well, make a decision to change what you're doing. Because if you're doing the same thing year after year after year and you're not making a living, then change whatever it is that you feel is the most devastating part of your life and turn it into something positive and become successful that way. And people around you will notice. They really will. Yeah. William, hello. Better get with your dealer on the John Deere guidance thing. Yeah, I heard about that. I'm going to have to do something about that because I don't want to buy a used one, but I can. There's a few used ones around I can get. But right on, I would like to know the difference in income. Your vacuum planner you bought was extremely accurate at the time versus the new stuff that isn't much more accurate, just made to drive faster. I honestly don't think for under 3,000 acres you can justify new. No, I agree with that 100%. You need to have a lot of acreage to, well, let's put it this way. I agree to portions of that. If you're doing 3,000 plus acres and you need write-offs, like, oh my God, my planter's 3 years old and I got to put $50,000 into this brand new planter or this 3-year-old planter, and then I got to pay taxes to Uncle Sam. You know what? I'm going to wash my hands of the old planter. I'll let somebody else buy it for half of what I paid for my new planter, and I get to write it off, and I go to the field, and life is good. Even though the new planters have their share of problems with satellite link-ups and things like that. See, I don't have that problem. That's what I'm avoiding with those things. That's why I have markers instead of just GPS. So if my GPS does shut down, I just go push a button and it goes, and I'm planting. So there you go. Pretty sure there is no vacuum of any on any of his planters. They're just mechanical. James Pollock, this is a vacuum planter. In fact, yeah. Okay, I know the 7000 did not have no, that was a finger pickup. New stuff is much more accurate than the tech on this 7200. Polson Farms, I'm sorry, you're wrong. The vacuum meter on this planter is a precision planting ESET vacuum meter, which they still sell today. That is the same meter that the little CCV or CCT or whatever they call that central tank and the little hopper that is fed into that. It's the same meter. It's the same meter. There's no difference in the meter. You have ESET and VSET. I believe the VSET is the one that has the belt that goes down to the ground, which I will not buy. Yeah, ESET is what they're using. So, I don't know. You need to do a little more research on yourself here. Same shit. Brand new. Right out of the box. Same shit. Yeah. I was growing 300 bushel corn in Pennsylvania shale ground in the early 90s. Take care of the old planters were extremely accurate, and the new ones have all kinds of aftermarket improvements. Cost over $250,000. Figure how much corn you got to grow to keep updated. Greg Koning, I agree with you. I've done over 300 bushel corn in certain fields, and believe it or not, it was in the shale. It was like the shale field. I don't understand why. Well, I do understand why. I doubled up compost and put a shit ton of lime down, and life was good. But hey, there you go. Precision upgrades will pay for themselves in 2 to 3 years, quicker if you have speed tubes and can plant everything quick during a small window in that right scenario. Can pay for all of it in 1 year. And I call BS on 300 bushel corn in the 90s. Paulson Farms, you're almost at the point where you're going to get expelled from the channel. You're being a little combative. I'm going to let you slide on this one, but if I find another one where you're calling bullshit on somebody else's yields, we did in the 90s, we did phenomenal yields with worn out shit equipment. We had a good liming program, a good organic fertility program going on. 280, 300 bushel corn was not unachievable. What we did with that was we cut back our input costs in commercial fertilizers, which then brought it back down into that 220, 240 range. So we don't need to grow. See, and here's the thing that people don't understand. When you go down to the fertilizer plant and you say, Mr. Agronomist, I want to grow 300 bushel corn. Mr. Agronomist says, okay, let's go pull some soil tests. They pull the soil tests and they tabulate and they figure and they account it. And they're like, well, your pH is 6.2. And in order to grow 300 bushel corn, you got to get that pH up around 6.7, 6.5, 6, between 6.6 and 6.8. So let's just settle on 6.7. You need 2 tons of lime to the acre, and you're going to do that 2 tons this year or 3 tons this year and 1.5 tons next year and 1 ton next year. And then on the 4th year, you'll be able to grow your 300 bushel corn. But your phosphate is bound up. It's a little bit low because of the calcium, but that'll be okay because we can add more phosphate. And your potash, well, your potash is a little low because you've been planting soybeans and your pH is low, so the organic matter in the soil isn't there and blah, 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 blah. So you're going to need 1,100 pounds of 10, 22, 22, 7. And you're going to need to put on all this stuff, and you're going to need the best variety of corn, so you're going to have to go with a Pioneer, and it's going to be double, triple, quadruple stacked with BT, VT, ET, and all the other extraterrestrial fun stuff with Poncho 250, and you're going to need to put this, that, and the other thing on it, and then you're going to achieve 300 bushel yields in 4 years if you do that for the 3 years preceding it. Okay. Or you do what Greg Koenig had done and monitored his fields over the years, watched his organic matter, put down manure from cheaper sources like poultry and pork production or pig farms and dairy farms, put that stuff down, watched his pHs, maintained a 6.5, 6.7 pH, and, you know, just kept this thing going. And it then started utilizing some cover crops and some other things. And you know what? Back in the 90s, 300 bushel corn wasn't really hard to do. I had a neighbor down the road here. He used to break the Northeast corn growing competition with over 300 bushel corn in the 90s all the time. So Paulson Farms, stop being a combatant person and just come on. Let's get with the program here. Read the comments, and you know what? A little congratulations on that 300 bushel corn. I find it hard to believe, but you know what? If you did it, you did it. Congratulations on it. None of this crap I call bullshit. You know what? I'm almost at the point now that I don't think Paulson Farms actually farms much. Or he's a young kid who works for his daddy and mommy, and, you know, he doesn't have to pay any bills. Because when you're putting 1,100 pounds of any type of fertilizer down on your ground, plus 2 to 3 tons of lime, you're looking at commercially applied lime, high calcium or dolomitic lime, you're looking at $60 to $80 a ton to get that shit on. So you do that times 3. So 6 times 3 is 6, 12, 18. It's $180 an acre on top of $450 an acre for the fertilizer. You're looking at $500-600 just in amendments to put in that Pioneer seed corn, which is $380 a bag, and you're going to put $150 worth of seed to the acre. By the time you're done with that new 24-row corn planter that you bought for $330,000 and that new 450 horsepower tractor, because you know you can't pull a 24-row with anything under 400 horsepower. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You've made so much money, the bank is calling you up wondering where their check is. There you go. So, bullshit on you, pal. All right, I had that little experience, and I'm all better now. Or you could do it like they did back in the day when four-wheel drives just coming out, were they pulling one in front of the other, one tractor in front of the other. Yeah, we could do that. Not doing that. You should hook that planter to one of your old tractors and drag it around the field a few times, then make a YouTube short just to annoy the haters. Poppin' Johnny plants corn. You know, I was going to do that with the 720, or the 720 diesel or the 730 propane. They both, the 7, do they have lift arms on the 720? There's 720? I don't think I do. I could put it on the 730, put a bunch of weight on the front of it. I could stack the front end of that tractor with weight, and then, or I could just pull the 12-row with it. Because, you know what? A lot of misconception here. People think that the biggest corn planter back in the 50s was a 4-row corn planter. They had big 8 and 12-row corn planters. Farmers put them together and pulled them with those old 2-cylinder tractors. They did. It's amazing. That would work, except he needs a heavy-duty 3-point hitch. Yeah, the front end of that tractor would just bloop right up. So yeah, and it would take some engineering feat. I think the one Teresa was standing by would pull it. Yeah, I do believe so. Let's see here. So for about $30,000, you get a nearly new planter. The naysayers need to just stop. Sorry we can't all be huge beef and dairy guys. I'm just a young old guy trying to make it with $5,000 corn planters that are 30 years or older. My tractor's 50 to 70 years old, and I'm about to raise beef and maybe dairy. Don't do dairy. Unless you find a niche market where you can make ice cream with your dairy, in which you will make money at that. Sorry about the negative feelings about us small guys, but we got to start someplace. I'll be buying most of my hay. My brother will have to be tending my critters till I get some ready to sell. Hey, you know what? You're right. You all have to start somewhere. The problem is start and be vigil of your finances. Don't screw the hay guy. Don't screw the grain guy. Don't screw anybody. It's a long-term investment, cattle. It's going to take you 2 years before you see anything coming back in, and it'll take you 6 to 7 before you profit. So yeah, it's tough. It's a tough deal. Keep your job, start small, and if you really love cattle that much, then go ahead. Best to you, mate. Congrats. Do you want a pat on the back? Jared Mormon. Here's another one. Here's another one that I've seen several times being negative. Planter sure looks great for 30 years old, and yes, it does. Never too cold to bale hay. No, it's not, especially mulch hay. So there was another comment in there, but whoever made it had removed it, so that comment was removed. Wow, that's bright. Let me turn that down a few notches. It'll work. You should have done a troll video with the antique 2-row, and we'll mine the fertilizer directly into the fertilizer. It can burn the seed or the initial sprout. Well, Paul Katowicz, that is a comment that just came in 26 minutes ago. The fertilizer that I will be using will not bother the seedling at all. It is a neutral pH. It is of the natural kind, and it will be stabilized with a liquid calcium as well. So we're not going to worry about that, and putting that down at a 3-gallon rate. 3.6. I need about a gallon to the acre there and 3 gallons to the acre. So 4 gallons and a quart. So that's my mixture of what I'm putting in. So what you're going to see is a in-furrow application of an all-natural product, all natural products, liquid calcium, chelated calcium, secret sauce, and liquid fish. Those are all neutral, plant directly into. I will be doing some experiments shortly on direct application of a heavy dose of my concoction fertilizer for in furrow to see if it will do any damage to the roots or whether it will just make it fire up and grow. Now, this has been an exceptionally long video. I'm putting both of them together. I will be posting them to my Ag Talking Raw. What you got? Oh, don't spill those. Don't spill them. Please, don't spill them on the floor. I don't want to step on them. So anyway, yeah, so I hope you enjoyed all this crap that I've been talking about, people that don't know how to, you know, just sit back, enjoy a video. I know that there are some experienced people out there that their assholes pucker up if they do something a little bit scary. Just a little bit scary. I am not that guy. I am not that guy. I'm not that guy. I don't get scared that easy. And I'm not worked up about any of these comments, you know. What I don't like is when somebody comes on and is belligerent to my subscribers that actually follow and are asking really good questions and expecting an answer from me, and I give that, but then I have to read the idiot that comes in and says, "You can't do that. You're an idiot. He's stupid. He's gonna fail." I'm gonna fail, right? So coming on with that attitude that I'm gonna fail, and if I say I'm gonna fail, you know what? I'm not going to fail. You know why I'm not going to fail? Because I don't have that failure attitude. If I start something and I think to myself, you know, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. The best thing to do is to stop right there, scrap what you're doing, and then find out what you feel is the least productive part of what you're doing. Cut it out, splice it, throw that part away, meet these two together. Get rid of the I can't attitude and replace it with the I can attitude, and you can do anything you want. And I'm going to bring Elon Musk into this thing. Elon Musk is the modern Henry Ford. The modern Henry Ford. So why do I bring Elon Musk into this, right? You know, like, oh, well, he's an asshole. Actually, Elon Musk is smarter than anybody here commenting. He's smarter than me. But I understand him. You know why I understand him? Because years ago, any advertisement is good advertisement. Donald Trump. We could bring Donald Trump into this. Why do we all know who Donald Trump is? Do we know who Donald Trump is because he built buildings in New York City? No. Do we know who Donald Trump is because he built casinos in Atlantic City? And I do believe he has them in Las Vegas. Hell no. We don't know his name because of that. We know his name because there was a high-profile divorce. Ivana Trump, and Donald Trump in the 90s, late 80s or 90s, got divorced. And it was every night on a television show, hard copy, CBS Tonight, all these news channels, all they talked about was Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Ivana Trump, Donald Trump, Ivana Trump, millions of dollars, trillions of dollars, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. That's why we know Donald Trump. Donald Trump then went on TV and did a television show, and everybody watched the show. I did not watch the show because I knew Donald Trump from when he was getting divorced from Ivana Trump. I don't care about casinos. I don't care about some building that he built in there. Elon Musk flies rockets to the moon. NASA contracts, the U.S. government contracts Elon Musk to fly satellites and people to the International Space Station. Does Elon Musk know how to build a rocket? Did he go to college to build a rocket? No. He just sat down and thought, I want to build a rocket. And I want to send it out in outer space, but I don't know how to do that. So he started to read. He's like, wow, basic rocket science. Propellant, fins, stabilizers, guidance. I'm going to make a rocket that lands itself. But I don't think I have the intelligence to do that, so I'm going to go out. I'm going to write some letters to some prominent rocket scientists that I think might want to make some more money than where they're working at right now. And I'm going to find some innovators, some young guys that have this open mind on you know, how things could work and maybe should work or maybe could possibly work. I'm not going to build this rocket. I'm going to pay these people to build the rocket. And guess what? I'm going to put my name on it. And when it takes off and everybody's like, wow, that's SpaceX. Who owns SpaceX? Elon Musk owns SpaceX. Wait a minute. Elon Musk, this guy built a toy back in the 90s. It's not a flamethrower. It's not a flamethrower. So when it's not a flamethrower, why would you buy such a toy? Because it's a fucking flamethrower that's called It's Not a Flamethrower. Curiosity. People. It's curiosity. A name is built under curiosity. Tesla. Why did he name his car company Tesla? The godfather of electricity, Nikola Tesla. Tesla. Wow, smart move there. Tesla's a name that people know. There was a band back in the 80s, Tesla. I don't know that anybody remembers that band, but I went to a concert, a Tesla concert, you know, and you know what? Tesla did well because they thought it had something to do with Nikola Tesla, but they're long gone. Tesla. Tesla's named as a electric because it's electric. That's why Elon did that. Elon didn't build that car. Elon found people that would build that car. He found people to develop the technologies. The Tesla truck. It's the ugliest piece of shit ever. But, you know what? He made a truck that is supposed to have bulletproof glass, right? So people that don't like Elon Musk watched his bulletproof glass when the dude threw a rock at the bulletproof glass. And the bulletproof glass broke. Uh-oh. So it was all over the news. Elon Musk, Tesla truck, bulletproof glass that can be broken with a rock. Every liberal, every conservative, every blogger, every vlogger, everybody was talking about Elon Musk and the bulletproof glass that could be broken with a rock. Tesla, truck, rock, Elon Musk. We all hear these names. We all hear what is going on. He released that truck. Have you seen one? I have never seen one. But we all know the truck. We all know that it's this ugly thing. We also know that he probably never intends on releasing that truck. I don't think he does. It was a publicity stunt to get his name out there, his company's name out there, his electric car out there. You know, I read these comments here, and I piss a few people off. They unsubscribe, but there's a few people that feel that I did some justice to them because these people were bad-mouthing them, and I went to their defense, and they're like, hey, you know what? That One Lonely Farmer's an asshole. I don't know who One Lonely Farmer is. Oh, yeah, well, you're better off because he's an asshole. Okay. That person that you just called me an asshole over is like, you know what? I want to find out who this One Lonely Farmer character is. One Lonely Farmer just bought a goddamn 24-row corn plant. What the fuck did he buy that for? His fields are too small. Let's see. Does he talk about this a little bit down here? I'm going to check on this one. Before you know it, I get like 1,000 views. You know, because it's One Lonely Farmer. He's not going to pull that thing with a 50-20. Is he going to pull that with a 50-20? He says he's going to pull that with a 50-20. Well, I'm going to have to sit around here. I'm going to have to subscribe because I got to see this. There you go. Am I Elon Musk? No, I'm not Elon Musk. But I do tickle some interest in certain things and certain people and have a lot of fun watching my crap. Am I going to pull that track? Am I going to pull that corn planter with a 50-20? I probably will. Just for the fun of it. Why not? I have 2 outlets on that thing. It'll run the vacuum meter. It'll run the damn planter. And I have markers. So I'm going to hook the 50-20 up to that thing. I got a weight bracket. It's on the front. It's on the front of that corn planter. So I'm going to take that weight bracket and I'm going to put it on the front of my 50-20. I'm going to load it up with those silly old pancake weights. and I'm going to hook that tractor to that corn planter, and I'm going to plant a field of corn. And people are going to watch it, and they're going to be like, wow, I guess you can pull a 24-row corn planter with a John Deere 5020. Isn't that amazing? So there you go. I hope you all enjoyed this video, watching William terrorize whatever it is he's terrorizing. What are you terrorizing back there? What is that?
That's with a leash.
It's a what? Oh, it's a dog leash. Don't knock anything over. Don't pull on that because you'll knock the damn thing over. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, because you know what? I know this channel that I'm posting this to is never going to reach 100,000 subscribers just because I make people upset. But it's a lot of fun to do it, and I hope if you're just listening to this that you enjoyed it. I hope that if I blocked you today, you can send me an email at onelonelyfarmer@yahoo.com. And if you really want to be unblocked or unhidden from the channel, you can say, you know what, Mr. Wesley K. Pandy, I was just, not in a good mood, and, I don't think you can pull it with that, and, I'm really sorry for being a dick to your other subscribers. Can you please unblock me, because I'll behave myself. I'll unblock you. I'll unblock you. With a sincere apology, I will unblock you. But if you don't, then there you go. See this? Yeah, it's just a fun day today, isn't it? Oh my God. Happy New Year, everyone. We're headed into 2023, and we're going to have a good time planting 1,500 acres of corn and possibly 500 acres of soybeans, and maybe even another crop that nobody would ever believe that I would grow. And if you don't know what I'm going to grow, you're probably going to make a good guess and put it in the comments section. What could it possibly be, right? What could it possibly be? I got 650 acres of wheat in the ground. I got 450 acres of rye in the ground. I have more than that, do I? No. Yeah, no, that's what I got. I got about 1,100 acres of small grain. Most of it will never make it into the bin, but we'll see how the finances go in, say, May, and we'll see what I'm doing, whether I'm combining 500 acres, 300 acres, or even 650 acres of wheat. I am going to combine wheat, and I'm going to do it in a fashion that nobody on the East does. I'm going to turn it. I'm going to turn it so I can get corn in behind it. Or beans. Corn or beans. I might have all my corn planted and then just say, you know what, I'm just going to plant beans behind that wheat. And I'll be planting that wheat somewhere in the middle of June where I would normally plant beans. So anyway, have a nice day. Hope you enjoyed this. Bye-bye.